that bothered me tonight. Something really bothered me tonight. And evidently, it bothered the person that it happened to just as well. And I'm going to tell y'all what happened. The last time that I was on live with y'all, which was about, I don't know, hour and a half ago, right? I was going into the store and I took my time because I had limited money to work with. So I was taking my time moving around, seeing what was on sale, what wasn't on sale, etc., etc. So as I'm in the store, I noticed these two black women, as a matter of fact, and both of them slightly on the age of being older. Ironically enough, these women had to be late 50s, maybe even possibly early 60s. Okay, so these were older women that knew better, been around the bend, whatever the case may be, right? And so as I'm sitting there and I'm walking past them the first time, they automatically start looking at me. You understand what I'm saying? I have this happen a lot of times where a lot of African Americans, I don't know what it is, what the case may be, I really don't even care. But I've had it happen a million times. Just like I had with that old black man earlier that looked at me across the street and decided I'm gonna go over there and mess with him. You know what I'm saying? And y'all gonna keep fucking around, somebody gonna hurt one of y'all little old motherfuckers. But anyway, as I'm walking past these women in the aisle, I noticed that they glance at me. And so one of them, the shorter one, and I hope you see this too, you fat bitch, because I said it real loud to you at the end. I said, yo, I'm on YouTube, so I'm going to put you up there. So I hope you look me up. I even told her my name because I wanted her to look it up. I wanted to hear what I had to say about her. So the one friend at that point looks over at the other one and whispers something to us. I said, oh, I already know these two about starting shit. Been through it before. Y'all give me 1 second. I'm going to share this. So I'm sitting there and I walk through probably 3, 4 more aisles. These women I've noticed have now made a U-turn and now they're coming back the same opposite way. So now they're watching me as I'm moving so they can correlate it. So they always run into me or run into me in that vicinity. So I already knew something was up with these women. I said, there's a problem with these chicks. Something's wrong with them mentally or whatever. I'm going to get into that in a minute too, because I'm going to finish that off with this. So as I'm moving around or whatever in the grocery store, I keep moving, da 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 da. I see the women for a second time. Same thing. One of them looks at, I can't make this up. One of them looks at the other one, whispers something, and then they giggle to each other. This seems to be this new thing when women see, or a lot of men do it too. I don't know if y'all picked up on this lately, but if they are jealous of you or whatever the case may be, they'll walk past you and they'll giggle. They'll be like I guess in some attempt to make fun of you or attack your self-esteem, which I'm gonna get into that too in a minute. But basically, what these women were trying to do is they were trying to downsize me, and they were trying to downsize any man in their vicinity. It was a man of color that was good looking or looked like he was about something. They wanted to attack his self-esteem, if you want to say too. So let me tell you what ultimately ended up happening. So I just fast forward everything here, right? So as I'm moving and I'm shaking, and I probably spent about like a good 45 minutes in the grocery store or whatever. I noticed this black man that comes in there and he got his daughter with him. You understand what I'm saying? This is the whole point of gets to everything. So I just wanted to give y'all a little synopsis before I got into the gist of things. So there's this black man in there, he's with his daughter, and I see him probably like 4 or 5 times. He actually goes like this, and this is what persuaded me to get myself involved. Because he walked down one aisle and he happened to walk past me. He went like this. You know how people of color we speak sometimes. You know what I mean? But he spoke. So when he spoke to me or whatever, I spoke back. He said something funny, and I laughed at it or whatever. We kept it moving. You know what I'm saying? It was like it was some brotherhood shit going on, even, you know what I mean? And so as I'm moving, I see him probably like 2 or 3 more times or whatever. He must have just came in there to grab something real quick and leave out or whatever. Lo and behold, I see old Broomhelda and her motherfucking witch companion walking towards now the dude and his daughter. This is I don't know if he was a single father or he was just out with his daughter. His daughter looked to appear to be about 7 to 8 years old, so she was aware of what was going on. The little girl was well upkept. The little girl had nice clothes on. She looked like she was good to go. You understand what I'm saying? And on top of that, she was out with daddy shopping. You understand what I'm saying? And so these two black women, they walked past the black man and his daughter, and I watched them. I said, let me watch these two cankling bitches because I know they're going to do something. So these two black women, they're in vicinity where I can hear them. And this is the words one of those bitches said. And I hope you burn in hell, you evil fucking cunt bitch, for saying what you said. She said out of her mouth, and I heard her very clearly. And anybody that was on that hour would have heard her say it too, because she said it loud enough with the intentions of this man hearing what she was saying. This SpongeBob built bitch. And so what she said was, and y'all get ready for this. Some of y'all not surprised because some of y'all use the same language yourself. But what one of the black women out of the two black women said was, look at him trying to pretend like he a daddy. Probably only got her for the day. And I said to myself, I said, what kind of evil ass shit is that to say about somebody, especially in the neighborhood? And let me give y'all my demographic. Where I live at, it's highly a whole bunch of Latino people and highly a bunch of whites, specifically Italians. Again, Connecticut's made out of it. So this was what the demographic in the grocery store was. And these two foul ass bitches were sitting there trying to denounce this man being out with his daughter. You understand? Now, I want y'all to take a look inside. And if you've seen this on the rebroadcast, whatever, it doesn't matter. I want y'all to take a look. And inside, down below in the description box, I left a note there. And this is from, excuse me, a link there. And this is from the CDC. And the video, the interview and the commentary was actually done by Forbes magazine, which is pretty much validated. So, but the information itself comes from the CDC, and it says in there that black men are more involved with their kids' lives than most other their white, and they say specifically their black and Latin counterparts, which was not a surprise to me because I know a whole bunch of daddies. But let me continue on my story. So that was the first thing this bitch said. Yes, you heard me correct. This was the first thing she said, not the last thing, not the final thing. This was the first thing she said. So I happen to be going down another aisle, and this is before I'm going to get some ice cream before I go get in line. And it just happened to be I see homeboy over there in line. Again, these two cackling bitches that had been in there before I had been in there, obviously, because they had stuff in their basket that before I even saw them. These two chicks decided to position themselves perfectly within a line where I'm on one side and dude and his daughter's on the other side. And there's a lot of people in there. So we're sitting there waiting or whatever. And I ain't got shit. I only spent like what, $35, $40 in there. I ain't got no money on me like that. I gotta pay bills right now. Which reminds me, make sure y'all donate the $STRINGERBELL80. And shout out to that person that's logged off because I screened my Cash App. Evidently, I have to ask permission and be adorned by the Black Council before I can ask for the donation. This is what I'm trying to tell you, people. A lot of these people ain't shit. All right, like they just really ain't shit, and they're bent on destruction, bent on confusion, bent on starting trouble. And unless you're one of these type of people, they do not like you. I'm trying to tell you, will y'all start getting the mentality of most African Americans and Latinos? They are very contrived, fucking frustrated, nasty, benign group of people, both of them. All right. Because what these ladies proceeded to do after that was now they had said their little snide comments. Now they wanted to challenge me and they wanted to challenge this black man with his black daughter, a future black woman. And so what they did was they stood there in line, and it was amazing to me because they started saying all these little subliminals, right? And they started saying, oh, most of these men ain't about nothing, all the little contrived that you could think of. And they're standing in line, and no time that they notice it, everybody around them, majority of the people around them are white and Latino. And these women are saying this, oh, these men ain't nothing. And the da. And then she started talking about, one of them started talking about their daughter and her experience and all this shit or whatever. And I commend that dude because he didn't say anything to them. So finally, I just had a fucking enough because there was so many people in line. It was at a point now where I couldn't avoid what these fucking cunts were saying. And so finally, I said to myself, you know what? If you don't say something to these bitches, they're going to do the same shit somewhere else. So I walked over to them. Yes, I left my basket. Like I said, I ain't have shit in there anyway. I left my basket sitting right there in the checkout line. There was more than 2 or 3 people in front of me, so I had time. And I went over and I approached these two cackling bitches. And this is what I said to these two cackling bitches, because they are bitches, for talking about a man, a father with his daughter. All right, a man with his daughter, a man of color with his daughter. I walked over to these two bitches and I said to them, I said, you know what? Since I walked into the store, you two have had something to say about anybody that's black or look black. You said something about me. The first one says, I ain't say nothing about you. Da, 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 da. I said, when I walked past you earlier, and I gave a description, I said, when I walked past you earlier, you looked right at me and then started whispering into your girlfriend's ear. Did you or did you not do that? The second one starts getting loud and walks towards me. This is what I say to her. I said, man, you need to back up. What you gonna do about it? What you gonna do about it? I said this very loudly, and this is where the store manager and all of them came over, justifiably. I said, bitch, if you don't get the fuck out of my face, I'm gonna choke the fucking life out of you. And that must have been the one that did it. That must have been the one that did it. I said, bitch, if you don't get the fuck away from my face, I'm going to choke the life out of you. And I meant it. I meant every bit of it. Because these mean, cantankerous bitches that you have that do shit like this, they don't deserve to be around the rest of this society. I honestly and truthfully believe that. You have an evil heart, for starters. Let me share this again, guys. I want to get the people in here that really give a shit. I'm sorry, I keep stopping and stalling, guys. I'm sharing the link or whatever. I have people that come in and they just their duty is to flag my post no matter what. That's their duty. There's a lot of people on here that want me not to bring out information like I bring you. There's a lot of people on here that don't want to see me vlog, or they feel like they should be the culmination of telling me how I should vlog, when I should vlog, whatever the case may be. Like they're my managers and shit like that. Nobody's my fucking manager. All right, you got the wrong motherfucker like that. We'll shoot it out before that happens. Now, after I said what I said to this bitch, and the fucking security guard came over there, the fucking store manager came over there, they asked me what was going on. And I commend that man. I want to give a special shout out to that man, because he then walked out of line and walked without his daughter and walked over to me. And he was seeing me with that security and the store manager. And you know what he said? He said, no, 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 he's not wrong. Those two women are wrong. Those two women were sitting there, they were antagonizing me, they were bothering me, they were making fun of me, they were saying stuff about me being with my daughter. He laid the whole thing down. And at that point, these two cackling, fucking unattractive SpongeBob SquarePants built bitches didn't know what to fucking say. Now, let me tell you something, ladies. I walk around and I respect women all the time. And these two women, based on that interaction, let me just add, they made a fucking fool of themselves. These bitches were at least 55 to 60 fucking years old. And they were in the store. First of all, dude was about 25, 30 years old. He wasn't an older guy. He was like 25, 30, 35 at the most. So I want to emphasize that. He was in there with his black daughter, shopping with his black daughter. And these two black women considered that to be a problem. Mind you, these be the same chicks that be talking about, oh, these daddies ain't around, da, 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 da. So you decided to put on a show in a fucking grocery store against two men that you don't even fucking know, including one that's with his daughter, and tried to embarrass him in front of his black daughter. But these will be the same fucking cackling bitches that will sit around and say, oh, these men ain't involved, da, 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 da. No, the nigga you chose to lay up with, you nasty bitch, that nigga ain't involved. See, these bitches don't tell you the truth, that they lay up with project trash, they lay up with drug dealers, they lay up with 2, 3 time losers that already got 4 or 5 babies by a nigga, but that nigga got good hair, that nigga light skin, that nigga Latino, that nigga white, whatever, whatever. Let me go through that. Donald Trump is a baby daddy. Did y'all ever think about that? Donald Trump is a baby daddy. Do your research, you'll understand. I don't know what the fuck is going through the minds of most black people nowadays, but you motherfuckers have lost it. You have lost it. You have entered the era of desperation now, because you scared. And this is why I'm talking about this shit. These 55, 60-year-old niggas be scared to talk about real shit on here, but they be on this motherfucking, yes, they be 55 and 60-year-old fucking vloggers. Yes, they do. And in society. You can't look up to these niggas. You understand what I'm saying? You can't look to the y'all want to talk about this elder shit and all. Most of these so-called elders ain't shit, homie. Look at them. Do the research on them. Did y'all not see the nigga in my other video, or whatever? This nigga comes and sits behind me so he can see what I'm doing, like a punk. Y'all talking about these elders and all this shit or whatever. These elders ain't shit because these two elder fucking broads sat there and made fun of a black man with his black fucking daughter, excuse my French, and then proceeded to sit and give a soliloquy in the middle of the grocery store how men of color ain't shit. Bitch, who do you work for? Who do you work for? I don't have any kids. But I think all the time when I get into interactions like this or I see things like this, had that been me in the store and she had bothered me like that, I probably would have knocked that bitch out. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you approach me with my daughter and I ain't bothering you or whatever, I expect that from some far right wing racist motherfucker. I don't expect that from people that look exactly like me. Does that make sense to you now? You niggas have lost it, bro. And I just I can't back none of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? And so the two women, they proceeded to walk out the door after they paid for the groceries. Do you know one of these bitches turned around? Because at that point now I was at the register. One of these bitches turned around and had the audacity to say something to me. And you know what she said to me? You think you all that, but you ain't all that. She said, you think you all that, but you ain't all that. And then started muddling all kinds of other shit with a girlfriend as they walking out the door. And I'm thinking to myself, these two motherfuckers started everything, and now they're putting on the show just so they can have the last motherfucking word in a grocery store. In a grocery store. You understand what I'm saying? In a grocery store. Mind you, these two black women probably got black nieces, black nephews, etc. And if you said, or even a black son or daughter, and if you said anything to them, they'd be ready to start World War III. You understand what I'm saying? But these two black women that were in the grocery store decided that a 55 plus, respectfully, probably even older, decided the right thing to do and the right direction to take was to bother two strangers that don't completely know them because we look like the type of motherfuckers that won't bother them back. Well, guess what, ladies? I think I proved to you tonight in a light way that I will bother you back. Let me take this a little bit further. For all you cantankerous ass fucking bitches out there that like to run around, and y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. Some of y'all got girlfriends to do this shit. If you bitches think walking around and saying whatever the fuck you want to say to grown ass men is the way to go about life, like this is the way. If you think saying a little smart shit under your breath and hoping that nobody catches up with your little subliminal messages is your way of moving through life, I'm here to tell you that there's a whole bunch of men out here, honestly and truthfully, that will take no reserve in the fact that you're one of our women, that you're one of the crew, that you're one of the culture, and they will proceed to beat the fuck out of you. Because that's how I felt tonight. I have a special place in my heart for a bitch that goes to the extreme, and I want to teach her a lesson. I'm talking about bitches that will shoot at you. I live in the Northeast. Bitches up here will shoot at you. They'll hit you with taser guns. You understand what I'm saying? They'll hit you with mace, all kinds of other shit because they're feeling a certain type of way. I was on a subway one time. I think it was either the end of the R, and I'll never forget. This was a few years back, and a girl had got on the train, and the dude told her, "Hey, yo, pick up your purse because the back of it is hanging." So she had one strap down, and she had the shit somehow put around her, and so the strap was open. Anybody could have walked up to her. They were careful. They could have reached there, grabbed whatever she had. You know what her response was? Mind your business. It's my bag. I know she started getting all loud, and the Ray homie was like, yo, you ain't got to talk to me like that. They started getting more and more into it or whatever. He says, fuck you, bitch. You know what she does in return? She pulls out a can of mace and sprays on the whole goddamn train card. Everybody's rushing off to go to the next car. We can move over and open the doors and move to the next car on most of the trains. So most everybody's moving out the car now because this bitch then sprayed mace or maybe bear spray at this man. Luckily, the man was smart enough, covered his eyes or whatever, didn't get hit that bad. He hopped off the next stop or whatever because we were coming in. But this was all because, and I want to put an emphasis, because a black man told her, your purse is open. I can't make this shit up. A lot of these chicks are running around and they're coming off at the mouth, talking however they want to, and thinking there ain't no motherfucking repercussions to come from it. Bitch, I could have took that can of green beans I had and cracked your fucking skull in with it. You had me so angry. I suffer from PTSD. I also have a history of being very fucking violent since I was 14 years old. I caught a gun charge at 14. You understand what I'm saying? And at that time, I was trying to kill the nigga. You understand? I'm Cuban and black. I have a like that fucking attitude real quick. You understand what I'm saying? And most of y'all seen that demonstrated by me. You know what I mean? I'm cool. I'm collected when it comes to certain things. But shit like this right here, where you fucking with a man and his daughter, and this man is not bothering you, and he's with a fellow black woman, and you being a black woman and having black kids, probably black nephews, black nieces, and this is the approach you do. You attack men of color when they with their fucking daughter. Now I want y'all to sit back and think about that. Think whatever you want to about me or whatever the case may be. The shit happened. And I know a lot of the shit that I say and I point out to y'all, y'all don't like. Y'all don't like the fact when I put y'all on Front Street, but y'all want to talk about everybody else's culture. You don't like the fact when I point out things that y'all do fucked up and wrong amongst each other, but you want to talk about other cultures. You don't want to talk about where there's fouls in your women, but you want to talk about other women. You want to destroy other men for dating other races of women, where you don't even look at you want to destroy other men, men for looking at different women, races of women and dating them. But at the same time, the example that you're getting is every bit pull up. It is. And to that person that just hopped off, I don't give a fuck if you hopped off or not. You got mad because I just said something about black women. Well, here's a little motherfucking exclusive. Some black women are generally and really pieces of shit. And they're troublemaking pieces of shit. They talk to people like they don't have to respect them. They're getting out to the loo where they're not talking to white men the exact same way. And I'm enjoying some of these groups of women getting locked the fuck up, getting slammed on the ass, and et cetera, et cetera. So yes, I am. Because if you're gauzy enough to sit there and snap out your mouth at any fucking body you see, or stare somebody down anytime you see them, or whatever the case may be, whatever the fuck you get in life is what you deserve. And that man tonight did not deserve to be attacked while he's with his black daughter by himself. Had he had been with his baby mom or the child's mother, if the child's mother is alive, around, or whatever the case may be, I can assure you, because see, these bitches have picks. They won't fuck with a nigga when you with your girl. This is why I try to tell you how you can separate the cowards. Fellas, next time one of these bitches get smart with you or get out of line with you or whatever, tell them like this. Don't make me go get my sisters. Don't make me go get my female cousin and watch the coward come out of them bitches. See, these bitches do this with men because they feel like certain men ain't gonna do nothing to them. We live in a whole different era, ladies. Some of these men out here will fucking choke you and kill you. You understand what I'm saying? Make no mistake about it. You can lose your fucking life messing around with a stranger. You gotta be careful. And to them ladies, this man was a stranger. I was a stranger. You don't know what I would have done to you. You don't know if I peeped you pulling in and seen your car and decided, you know what, I'm gonna wait up under the motherfucking driver's seat of their car, underneath the car, and wait for him to come through so I can slice a fucking leg. You understand what I'm saying? You don't know what the fuck I might have done. Look at me. You understand what I'm saying? So when I say these things, I don't say these things to be salacious or be mean or whatever the case may be. I'm saying these things because this is what's happening every day. I've had this happen multiple other times where I've been out, and I've had white girls do it too. I've had white girls do it too. I've had Latin girls do it too. You know, usually they're unattractive, just like these two women where they were unattractive. That was the real issue. You bitches were ugly. And ugly bitches got to start feeling in their position and understanding where they are, who they are. I don't care what color you are. If you were ugly bitch, you were ugly bitch. There's nothing changing that, G. You just an ugly bitch. You understand what I'm saying? You could be a 3 or a 4, make it through life. Somebody will want you. But if you move through life and the only thing you do is set out your day mad at the same men that won't date you, maybe it's you, mama. And that's what I saw from these two older women tonight. Maybe it was them, because that man wasn't bothering these girls. If y'all would have been there with me, y'all would have seen what I was seeing. And I took so much pride in coming to the aid of that black man and his daughter. And I hope that somebody one day when I have kids will come to my aid the same way. You understand what I'm saying? And be like, yo, you better not say nothing to them. And I could see that that man was put in a bond because he wanted to say something, but he couldn't because he was with his daughter. And therefore, if he would have started yelling and screaming and shit, it would have made him look crazy because people in the grocery store would be like, see, look how they do. But there seems to be some mission that girls of color, both black and Latin, somehow or another. You know, I just heard Krishan Rock, Blueface's baby mom, say she has a preference to raise her kid by herself. This is what she said. She wrote it out in the tweet, said it multiple times. She prefers to raise her kid by herself. You know why? Because there's been a history of that shit. Not by suggestion and not by, happenstance. No, it's happening because a lot of these bitches decide. You know how many dudes I know that didn't even know they had a kid? I know a dude right now that didn't even know he had a kid until that kid was fucking 9 years old. I can get him on here. I can get him right here on camera for you if you want to talk about it. 9 years old, and this bitch is never telling him he had a kid. There's a lot of women out here that like to have kids by themselves, hide their pregnancy, or whatever the case may be. How come we don't talk about them stories? Right now, in my description box, you can go right down below, and you'll see an article that is via the source from the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, but it's put out by Forbes magazine that introduces an idea that has been floating around for the longest versus the narrative that a lot of the sisters have put out there. These ain't, listen, man. I know it's wonderful to think that, fellas. I know it's one, but these are not your sisters. These are feminists. These are misandrous. These are women that hate men of color. And they are spreading out a narrative that you too should hate men of color. And if you're not intelligent enough to ask the question, well, why should we hate them? Then maybe you just as dumb as these bitches are. These bitches are going as far as starting problems with men. Like tonight, there was no reason for that woman to do what she did to me. She gonna look at me, he. She looks at a girlfriend, he. These are 50, 60-year-old fucking women acting like teenagers. And that's another problem. Seemingly enough, it seems like African American and Latino women never mature and never grow up. I thought women matured faster than men. Doesn't seem like that. Seems like it was reverted back and it's the opposite. It seems like the men are maturing better than the girls. Why do I say this? If you're walking around and you're going in the grocery store and your sole purpose is to key, and he, and make fun of people or whatever that you know obviously would never pay attention to you, obviously would never want to date you. Like you could look at me and tell I would never want to date one of these bitches. I would never want to talk to none of these bitches. I'm not talking about black women in general. I'm talking about these two particular women this night. And I've seen tons of older women that are fuckable. These women were part of that group called a team that can never be stopped. They're unfuckables. You understand what I'm saying? It was nothing sexy about them. The one bitch was built like SpongeBob SquarePants. I swear to God, she had a big ass midsection, little ass breasts, and these little ass legs. And I'm looking at this bitch like this bitch look like she can barely move. And you making fun of somebody because they with their daughter. No, what it brought down to psychologically was that chick probably had kids at home. And the father decided a long time ago, I don't want to deal with this bitch if this is what goes on with it. Or she may have elected to move on by herself. The fact remains is I know this much. I know the black fathers are not the worst fathers. And if I go by these demographics I see, it shows that white and Latino fathers are the worst fathers, the most fathers in court, the most fathers paying out child support, etc., 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 etc. The numbers themselves, it only being 14% of the population versus 62% of the population of white Americans, doesn't skew that far. And that's why I question some of these demographics sometimes, whether they're inclusive of whether jail, whether they're inclusive of birth rates, etc., etc., etc. Another conversation we never have is this in New York City alone. We had one year, I think it was 2017, 2018, where we actually had more abortions in New York City than we had births, and particularly with African American women. There were more abortions with African American women than births in that year of 2017, 2018. You can go look it up right now for yourself. I can't make this up. Numerous publications got aware to it, and subsequently, I think 2, 3 years following that, maybe skipped a year or two, the same thing happened. happened. You had more abortions than you had births. Now, a lot of things in perspective. That is expensive to live. Some women are, been sexually assaulted. I take nothing away from that. But this narrative of men, black men especially, and Caribbean men are not good fathers. I'm just not buying that shit, man. And I can't stand when we have older states women and older states men pushing this narrative when y'all know what the setup is. Y'all been through what we've been through. Ain't you go through this in the 50s and 60s and 70s and shit? So when I saw those two black women tonight attacking this man of color because he was with his daughter by himself, making fun of him, talking about us all in a unison. Oh, well, they don't take care of the kids anyway. He's probably just got it for the day. That was the part that killed me the most when the bitch said he's probably got it for the day. And a lot of y'all said back, why you calling them bitch? Because these were bitches. All women don't deserve respect. All men don't deserve respect just because of your gender, just because of your color. Your character and your fucking way that you carry yourself appeals more to me. And these women were trash. But these will be the same women that will get up day to day if they're still working, if they're not, whatever. They will get up day to day and go to their job and kiss everybody in that job's ass that's white. They will kiss everybody in that job's ass that's white. Trust me on that. The Conan is deep. And a lot of people say to me, well, why are you always calling out? Because I grew up in the fucking suburbs around white people. You understand what I'm saying? A great majority of my life. And so I don't make no shame of that. I don't care. I talk about it all the time on here. That's not the point. The point is, you get these people that act this way, and they did it back in the days on the plantation in the Caribbean or United States. They act this way because they believe that they impressing massa. Oh, he gonna be happy about this. I'm telling on some nickels. He gonna be happy. You happy, Mr. Charlie? Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. Shut on. Y'all ever really watch these niggas? Y'all always talking about y'all investigating and watching white people. Do you ever watch your own? If you ever watch your own, let me give you an example, right? I spend a lot of time in my daytime analyzing the behavior of black and Latin people on a consistent basis. And people will say, well, why do you do that? Well, I grew up around Italians and Greeks, so I know how they act. I know what to perceive of them. I know what to expect of them, etc., etc., etc. I know them. You know what I'm saying? But on the other hand, African Americans, I don't know y'all no more. You understand what I'm saying? The people that y'all used to be, y'all not those people no more. And there's gonna be a couple of people that'll come in here and they'll be like, "Oh, you don't know what he's talking about." The blah 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 blah. You know nothing about sociology. You know nothing about sociology. Most of you that are on here are not very intelligent at all. You try to pretend like you're intelligent, but you're not intelligent, and that's what confuses people about people like me and others that are like me that do vlogging, because we get thrown to the side for motherfuckers that do absolutely nothing for the culture. You understand what I'm saying? That woman, and I should have filmed the shit. I don't know why. I know a lot of y'all ask me, why didn't you film it? And I was like, I was just so caught up in the moment, I didn't do it. You understand? So at first, when you get this happen to you, because this ain't the first time it happens, you can ask a lot of guys of color. And I want y'all to start asking them this. I'm just gonna add this little last for 5 minutes here, because it needs to be said. Tomorrow, ask your brother, ask your cousins, ask your male father, ask your male uncles, etc. Right? Ask them how many times they go in their day, and the main culprit that wants to start something with them, get nasty with them, or whatever the case may be, that face ain't brown or black. There's a temperament in this country that you don't have to respect men of color, especially. You're not supposed to respect men, but you're not supposed to respect men of color, especially. You're supposed to talk to them any old kind of way that you want to. They shouldn't have anything to say about it, and that should be it. Well, sorry, ladies, I'm not that type of guy. And I will cuss you the fuck out. I will protect myself if need be. If I feel that you're getting violent with me, I will put you on your ass. I ain't got to beat the shit out of you, but I will put you on your ass. And more importantly enough, any woman with any decorum, Any woman with any decorum wouldn't carry herself that way. Now, I'm not no woman beater. I never will be. Don't find any interest in being that. But you also have to take into account there are a few rowdy, out of control ass fucking women out here with their mouth specifically most of the time that need to be dealt with by one of your female cousins. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these chicks out here run their mouth and talk the way they talk because ain't nobody ever whooped their motherfucking ass. And I keep telling y'all this a million times. There's a lot of bitches out here. I've seen it because I know it from my sisters. There's a lot of broads out here that run their mouth continuously all the time because nobody has ever whooped their motherfucking ass to a pulp. And that's what some of you bitches need. You might not like what I have to say. You might not have experienced what I'm saying, period. Some of you guys out there be like, I don't love nobody but the sisters. These are not your sisters. This is the sisterhood. You understand what I'm saying? And the sisterhood, the ones that are involved, consist of we must destroy the man of color to the point that he comes crawling and groveling and begging us to be with them. I'm not going to crawl and grovel or any of that shit for you to be with me. And you're not going to attack me because you're a woman of color and you feel that you're somehow or another protected, that you don't have to do that. That's not a woman of color. That's a piece of shit. I know stand-up women, multi-millionaire women, women that do diligence and donate to this channel on every fucking day. And I would have been a fucking fool if I sat there and let that man, that black man, sit there and be made fun of by two less than stellar looking fucking whores. This is my time. If you guys like what I had to say, which you probably don't because it reflects on you and your women, and we gotta protect the sisters. These bitches will put you on an island and set fire to that motherfucker. Trust me. I ain't never in my life sat in a grocery store and looked at a woman that was by herself with her son and said the shit that those women said about that man tonight. Never in my fucking life. I've helped single moms before. I ain't never in my fucking life bitter as fuck. Who's bitter as fuck? Tell me who's bitter as fuck, 713 Tyree. The bitches I'm talking about, or am I bitter? The bitches I'm talking about that started the problem in the grocery store, am I better? You see that fucking cunt and they had nothing to say. LOL. You see what I mean? Bitter as fuck. LOL. This bitch is subscribed to me. Let me make sure I get her. You can't say anything about these bitches. They got an excuse. So once I get done with this, I'm gonna make sure I delete that whore. I like when the whores come out. That's why I say shit, certain shit the way I say it to temperament them. You know what I'm saying? That's one whore I got to get rid of right there. When she come off and say bitter as fuck, bitch, you ain't even been here, so you don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. You get what I'm saying? If she had been here, 713 Tyree, if you had been here, you would have understood what I was talking about from the beginning of it. So see what I mean? There's a lot of taunting that goes on. That bitch wrote that to taunt me. Bitter as fuck. LOL. Bitch, you don't even know me. And fuck your life. I wouldn't even fucking date you, you fucking cunt. You understand what I'm saying? No. Who's really bitter is you bitches. Because only a bitter bitch would sit in the grocery store and talk about a man that they don't fucking know. Only a bitter old bitch would sit around and be cantankerous enough to go around and start problems with men that she doesn't even fucking know. You understand what I'm saying? So really what we have here, we have a group of, and I'm going to say partially a group because some of you women are just absolutely fucking beautiful. We have a good 70% of the population of women in the culture that, in my opinion, are either heavily opinionated of their own men or two, this lonely and fucking frustrated as fuck, and they take out their frustrations on men they don't even fucking know. And I'm telling you, ladies, if you keep starting problems with men that you don't fucking know, sooner or later, one of these motherfuckers is gonna let off and put one in your fucking ass. Or they're going to go get one of their sisters or whatever. I take enjoyment watching one of my cousins or sisters beat the fuck out of a bitch that talk shit to me. I did it all the time when I was younger. Beat that bitch ass. Y'all got to go start getting some of your do-dirty bitches. Fellas, go get your do-dirty bitches. These are the bitches that are stand up. Excuse me, I don't even mean to call them that. The ladies that are stand up, not the bitches. These are bitches we're talking about. Go get them ladies that's in your family that square up. Go get them ladies, them homegirls that you'd have had since you was in 4th, 5th grade or whatever. Be like, yo, I got a problem over here with this bitch. She running them out. Where's she at? You understand what I'm saying? You got to start getting your homegirls. When these bitches do something or whatever, whatever. I know we used to have a thing. I'll pay you $50 right now to whoop that bitch ass. I give you $100 right now. If you bitches say, yeah, this is some line of work some of y'all ladies need to get into, I give you $100 right now if you stomp the shit out that bitch. And I've seen it happen. So make no mistake about it, ladies, versus these fucking whore cunt bitches that go out here intentionally starting shit. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go back to the beginning of the podcast and watch it from the beginning. But I'll give you a quick synopsis. I was in the grocery store today, and I saw some real strange behavior that I really didn't like. And this is the umpteenth time I saw this behavior, where we have cantankerous women of color going to intentionally, subliminally say little messages or start intentionally problems with men of color. I've seen this now happen several times, and I saw it happen today, and I was witness of it because I was initially the target at first until they found a better target, evidently. But when I was in the grocery store tonight, I was moving around kind of slow, and I'm always observers. I always observe what's going on with me socially. So these two women are in the grocery store. One of them says something slick. She looks at me, and she says it to a friend. I pay myself and don't pay attention, keep on going down the aisle. These bras turn around so they come the same direction I go so they can talk even more shit now that they think I ain't gonna say nothing to them. Later on, just to sum everything up, this happened like 2 or 3 more times. Eye contact, little small jabs, whatever. I get to the front of the line. Well, before I get to the line shortly, they had seen this black man in there with his daughter, and they had something to say about him as well. It was like they were targeting who they wanted to say something to, and no rush, but the dude was a decent looking guy. You know, like he ain't look like a guy that couldn't get girls. You understand what I'm saying? So that made him even more mad. I've started to notice that too. Lower nonchalant, lower tiered as far as looking women really have a problem with men that are good looking or considered good looking or whatever the case may be by many other women. You understand what I'm saying? Like, case an example, I was out the other night singing, and I'll continue what I'm saying here in a minute. I was out the other night singing or whatever. I had tons and tons of people. I lie to you not. The same thing was happening when I was doing karaoke. That's why I stopped doing the karaoke. I'm just like, oh, let me just focus on singing, period. And so I started going out, and I'm gonna film it for you. I started going out into different parts of the city and just singing just to see what people think. You know what I mean? And so I remember one day I was sitting outside the subway or whatever, and I just started singing. You know what I mean? And I think I was singing something by Sting or something like that or whatever. People were walking by. I swear to God, every white person that walked by, they didn't give me a thumbs up or sounds good or whatever. They gave me a pound. That's true. Every black and Latin person walked past me. You need to stop. This is when one bitch said to me, you need to stop. You need to stop trying, girl. And I'm like, whoa. But these are same bitches that be talking about, oh, ain't nobody got our back. Ain't nobody supporting us. Bitch, fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you, bitch. Any bitch that thinks like that, fuck you. You're one-sided. On one end, you're saying we should support you and boost you up or whatever, at the expense of what? So you could turn around, because we've seen this happen. You know how many fucking rappers and musicians out here that had a bitch piggyback off their dating and become a fucking entity themselves and a star themselves? Karuchi comes to mind. I don't fucking know. You know what I mean? A couple other these bitches. I'm tired of bitches of color being the fucking problem when I go out in public. Not a white man, not another man of another culture or whatever. No, these are our own bitches. They got a problem with me. You don't even fucking know me. Bitch, who you work for? Can we ask that question? Who you bitches work for? Because evidently you don't work for the culture. You don't work for any type of black agency that I can think of. Instead, what these bitches do is they sit around and they think of cantankerous ways that can fuck with men of color just for sport. And if y'all don't see it, you don't see it. That's why I say, oh, you simp and brown nosing ass niggas. This is why I say, oh, you simps and brown nosing ass motherfuckers that donate to these bitches. God, y'all motherfucking mind. This bitch is out here getting rich off of niggas OnlyFans. This bitch is like this bitch that just wrote in here, 713 tirade. And bitter as fuck, LOL. Like, they'll do a little tankerous shit like that with you. It's to fuck with you. You understand what I'm saying? Matter of fact, let me block that bitch right now. Yeah. Let me get that bitch over here. That's probably one of the bitches that was flagging me. We got her the fuck up out of here. Y'all gotta watch these hoes. I'm gonna tell you how it is. Who the fuck do you think I am respecting women? You bitches ain't respecting men. You want fucking respect, but you won't want to respect your own fucking men. And for that point, I can't have your back. I can't support you. I've done more than enough over my years. I got a bitch that I got hired. And you know, when I fell on tough times, this bitch wouldn't even pick up the phone for me. You understand? This bitch wouldn't even pick up the phone for me. She act like she didn't even know me. I said, you got this job because of me. Y'all can do all that shit. The sisters, all that shit. Umar be screaming, Tyreek be saying. There are no sisters. Even the older bitches. These bitches were older bitches. The two chicks then proceed in the grocery store to make fun of this man, this black man with his black daughter. Two black women. What does this make these bitches? People will point out the fact that I keep repeatedly saying bitches, but won't pay attention to the story. Because most black and Latin people live in this denial sense that they cannot point the finger at their own, but want to point the finger at everybody else. So before I end this, go smoke a cigarette, I want to say, first of all, special fuck you to both of them bitches. Let's call them the unfuckables. Second of all, black women, Latin women, you're running yourself into a hole where 5 years from now, your own men are going to despise you. Many of them, many do. But your men are going to despise you. They're not going to want to marry you. They're not going to want to procreate with you. And the only thing you guys are going to have left, if you selected, y'all be able to marry somebody, have another culture, have some, biracial kids or whatever, and pimp them kids off as they're not black. And in fact, you'll raise them, because I've seen this before too, especially, and I've seen this specifically. I've not seen this as much with black men that choose a different spouse, but I've seen this repeatedly. And I know three people in particular I can point out. When a black woman raises her mixed child, a lot of times they teach them to denounce everything that's black about them. Because what I find is a lot of times these women are not that attractive. They're really not that attractive. And vice versa is the same thing. Sometimes some of these black dudes and Latin dudes or white chicks that they end up marrying, or chicks from another culture they end up marrying, most of the women in their culture will look at these women and be like, well, that ain't the best you could have got. Well, the same thing goes for the women. And so they'll go and they'll have a biracial child, and they'll raise that child to not cater or not be around. And I've seen it a million times, but specifically not to date a man of color. I've seen it. Or a woman of color. I've seen it. I've seen it with my own two eyes. I have a friend right now. Fuck it. I have a friend right now named Chad that his mom raised him like that. And he still has beef with her to this day because he picked a black female spouse. I can't make this shit up. He argues with his black mother because he picked a black female. Because mama is married to his white daddy, or was married to his white daddy. She ain't with him no more. I can't make this up. Chad, I'm sorry to put you out there like that, but fuck it, everybody know. It is what it is. That's the truth. So I really, honestly, and truthfully think that a lot of these women, they have so much hatred in their heart for their own men because of their own selective individual situations. Your baby daddy left you because of whatever the fucking reason. You decided not to tell your baby daddy that you were pregnant and had a baby. I told you this a minute ago. I had a friend that didn't even know he had a kid until the kid was 9 years old. You understand what I'm saying? I'm not making this shit up. And there's other stories. Now, I hope that you guys, if y'all see this on a replay, that y'all put it down instead of sitting around gossiping and acting like these bitches are holier than now. These bitches y'all trying to call y'all sisters are not y'all sisters. At least 65 to 70% of them. 65 to 70% of them will turn on you like a rabid fucking dog if it has to do with the bag, if it has to do with them becoming popular on social media, if it has to come with them making a stance and being seen in public, or whatever the case may be. They will throw you under the fucking bridge as a man of color and sacrifice for that. You understand what I'm saying? Just like that little bitch 713 Tyree came in here. Talking about he bitter as fuck. Not bitter as fuck. I'm pointing out what the fuck is going on with y'all. If you want to ha ha key, which it seems like a bulk of y'all like to do it, ha 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 key. You're like the fucking nation's court gestures and shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's all y'all like to do. Y'all never serious about nothing. Y'all just want to sit around and gossip and fucking laugh and key and make fun of each other, whatever. That you become a culture of court gestures. You understand what I'm saying? The royal fools. And you're looked at as fools, whether you believe it or not. And this because you try to come to me with the comment, well, who are you, nigga, to say something about somebody? Who are you, nigga? I'm not you.